This is Karl talking management for the Globe and Mail. Today I'm delighted to speak to Wharton's Rosenkopf. One of the things you look at, a very interesting topic, is to look at technical people moving from firm to firm. A lot of us see that as a negative thing, but you take a little different perspective.
Well, when somebody moves from firm A to firm B, an economist would take a human capital perspective and say everything's in person's head, moves to firm B from firm A loses it. But I'm a sociologist, so I take a social capital perspective, and I say when someone moves from A to B, they still are in contact with their friends at A. And so, even though there are all sorts of non-disclosure and non-compete sorts of arrangements, research has shown that those are pretty unenforceable in most cases. And so what I argue is that firm B is of course learning from firm A. It might just be from social connections. Furthermore, firm A that's lost the person, the people who still work there can talk to their friend who's now in a new place, firm B. And in fact, my research shows that when a firm in the semiconductor industry loses people to another firm, that they wind up learning more in terms of patent productivity and using the information in the other firm's patents than if the person had not moved.
But this means that some of your competitive advantage is going to be lost. And how do you enforce then your intellectual property?
The traditional mindset is that firms lose competitive advantage when they lose people, and there's always been a push to try to keep your best people, and that's still true. But the reality is, particularly in places like the Valley, in Silicon Valley, that people are moving all over the place. You can't really control it. And so let's take advantage of the flows of people who are recombining knowledge from all different firms, rather than trying to stifle it so much. There are non-compete agreements in place, but research has shown pretty clearly that those are very difficult to enforce, particularly in high-tech regions like Silicon Valley. Those sorts of, the court circuit there is one of the most lax in terms of enforcing those arrangements.
So would a firm want to try to get rid of some people to encourage this? Is that taking it too far?
Yes, that's taking it a little bit too far. I don't encourage that firms intentionally try to get rid of their good employees. But given that it's a reality that people are leaving, it's great that firms try to capitalize on the web of social network connections that exist among people in these particularly technology-rich regions. It actually, one more? It actually turns out that firms like professional service firms, consulting firms, legal services, etc., are very aware of this phenomenon and have been hosting alumni gatherings for years, because when people leave, say, McKinsey, they're going to work for, in many cases, a client of McKinsey. So bringing all of your people back to the fold is a great opportunity to be cultivating customers. But in the high-tech arena, it's a little bit different because people are leaving for competitors. So then there are some antitrust considerations in place, so nobody's having an alumni gathering party as explicitly as the professional services firms would do.